Well, if you've clicked on this video, then you probably want to see more Shopify sales notifications on your phone. And to show you that I actually know how to do that, here's actually a brand that we scaled to. Let me get my face out of here because it always wants to correct on my face. But here's a brand just last November, we scaled to $2.3 million in sales. You can see the chart there. And actually 1.5 of that was in pre-orders. And so what I'm going to do, just so you know I'm not pulling a fast one, I'm just going to change the date. I'm actually going to set this to 2022, okay? And so the reason why I want to do that is just to show you that when we were actually first starting with this brand, they were not doing $2.2 million a month. In fact, this is what I'm trying to scroll to. If we can set this to all of 2022, we can click apply. And now you can see this was actually their sales before. In all of 2022, they did 1.8 million. So how the heck did we take a brand from doing $1.8 million a year to $2.3 million a month? Well, that's what I want to try to explain in today's video. And if you have no idea who I am, my name is Spencer, and I actually run a growth-focused agency by the name of Easy Aim Media, where we help 7-figure brands scale to 8. But enough about me. Let's just talk about how to actually get more sales. So this is going to be a little bit of a whiteboard presentation. I'm assuming every time I look to the whiteboard, my audio is going to be crummy. And again, that's why I had to show you the screenshot for like the Shopify first, because if you're like, how the hell do I trust this guy? Nice setup. Yeah, I'm working on getting a bit of a better setup. But let's get down to the good, okay? So if you want more Shopify sales notifications, that means that you're gonna need a lot more people to your store, okay? And there's quite a few different ways to get people to store, but the way that we do it is with ads, okay? It's I'm not gonna tell you it's anything crazy. We have ads, okay? But here's what we do with our ads that make it a little bit different, okay? So rather than focusing on, there's basically two ways to drive the traffic. There's the media buying, and yes, I write like a 9-year-old. That's supposed to say media buying. And then there's also the creative, okay? So that's creative, and let's draw a nice little picture of a smiley face and maybe like a sunset. I don't know what I'm drawing now. Okay, so there's media buying and there's creative. All right. So what we actually focus on is nothing to do with media buying. It does have a lot to do with creative. So we actually focus on what I would call the 80-20 of advertising. If you actually look at it, about 80% of the total results come from the creative. I know Facebook has some metrics, but I'll be honest with you, or be honest with yourself. Have you ever seen a new interest or a lookalike audience scale your ad account from spending $200 a day to $2,000 a day? Probably not. So that's why we don't really care about media buy. And if you want to learn how we media buy, it's really as simple as one campaign. And I have a video on my channel that you can go look up. It's called Try This AI Strategy. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So obviously, if you have some kind of experience with Facebook ads, then you probably know that creative is important. So that's good. But now, what do we do that's so different about the creative that allows us to scale so fast? Okay. Well, we do a little thing called research. Okay. Hopefully I spell that right. Search. Okay. And research, let me draw a little magnifying. Ooh, that could have been risky there. So I'm going to, let's just leave that as, that's a magnifying glass. Hopefully you can see that. But with research here, what we actually do, let me move this over a little bit as well, is we figure out what the heck people actually want, okay? Because a lot of the times people focus up here and they're trying to basically media buy their way. They're trying this over and over and over. They gotta try this strategy and that strategy and ASC plus this, and there's all these different things, and it doesn't matter, okay? What matters are these two things right here, okay? Your creative and your research. And so these two actually work together, okay? So these two are they're really good friends. They get along really, really well. And because the research is actually what shows you what creatives to make, okay? Because again, we're selling to real people here. And so the research that we do builds the creatives, okay? And then here's where we actually take it a pretty big step forward. Us as an agency, we actually build pages that are something we call congruent. It's a big word. I still don't really know what it means, but congruent pages landing page. Let's go mobile. All right. So we got, our little title here. We got our photo. We got our menu up there. We've got the, little press section there with all, the little logos of where we were featured and all that. Then we got probably some kind of video, talks about what we do. And then we got like a, how it works. And then typically we have a product order form with, a title, some benefits, and a CTA. And then typically we have FAQ and review. Okay, those are the two sections. And so what we do that's actually so different, because you're like, this guy is just talking about how to run ads to a landing page. Well, what we do that is very different is we actually take the same research and that we use to create the creatives, and we use that research to build a page. And by actually using the same research and having this ad right here, this creative, actually talk, okay, so it talks to the landing page, what happens is when people click their ad, or click your ad rather, and they go to the page, it actually aligns with what the ad is talking about, okay? And I know this might sound pretty crazy, but a lot of the times you have different people doing ads, and you have different people doing your landing page and different people doing your website. And what happens is there's a miscommunication, okay? So just to give you an example, let me go ahead. I'm probably going to pause the video just so I can clean the board, and then we'll pick things back up. All right, we're back. So what actually happens is typically you have an ad, okay? Or say let's just keep it simple. Let's just talk one ad. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, okay? And this ad talks about messaging A, okay? So whatever that messaging is, maybe you sell a supplement that helps with knee pain. Maybe you sell, as I've talked about so many times on my channel, a hair dryer that blows your hair faster, dries your hair faster, okay? And what happens is a lot of the times you send traffic to a page that has, this is a page, so this one needs to be longer, right? Really make it clear. And on this page, you have nothing that really aligns or talks about this messaging. So maybe you'll have a little bit of a messaging there, or what typically happens is you'll maybe have a messaging kind of lower in the fold, so maybe you got a little bit of A there. But on your main messaging, you're talking about B and C and D, okay? You're talking about all of these different things that you're actually not talking about in the ad. And so what happens is because there's one person going through this funnel, they click this ad thinking they're gonna go learn more about this thing. And then what ends up happening is there's nothing on this page, or most of the time, there's nothing up here that then aligns with that messaging. And so what happens? They leave. And you know what that means? That means you don't get their money because they're gone. So how do we get around this? Well, we do something like I showed you in the beginning called building congruent landing pages with our ads. And this sounds so simple to do. And to be honest, it actually is quite simple. There's a tool that you can use called Replo. You don't even actually need to be a pro. They have templates. They basically like copy other brands' templates. So it's called Replo, if you want me to spell it out for you, even though you probably can't read it. Replo, I think it's called .app is what it's called. And you can just basically build a landing page. And the only thing that you will actually need to do is make sure that your messaging here aligns with your landing page. Because there are so many times where people build landing pages and they have nothing to do with their ads or their top performing ads. And there's no congruence, okay? There's nothing attaching these two. It's like somebody is going through two completely different experiences, okay? So long story short, what we actually need to do if we're going to actually drive a lot more sales and get those Shopify notifications to never stop going off is we're going to need to figure out how to execute this the right way. So now the question is how do we execute this the right way? Well, glad you asked, because that's where this guy right here becomes even more important. And if you can't see what I'm circling, it's research, okay? Because what you're going to do is you're actually going to dive deeper into some of the boring stuff that most people don't really pay attention to, okay? And some of those boring things are things like your market. I gotta look behind whenever I talk. Your market desires, okay? If you don't know what market desires are, that's what people want, okay? And what you need to do is you need to figure out what is the thing that people actually care about most, all right? And now to give you an example of this is I want you to think about if you were running ads for a weight loss program. And think about you had a few different ways to run those ads, okay? Option number one is to get really toned calves, okay? Or that's angle number one. This program will help you tone your calves like crazy, okay? Angle number two is this program will help you get a six-pack. What angle do you think has a larger desire? Do you think more people care about having toned calves, or do you think more people care about having a six-pack? If you know anything about fitness, most people probably care about getting a six-pack. Unless you're Hermosi, then you probably buy the calves, program. But market desires. So you need to figure out what the strongest desires are, and you need to take those desires and you need to smash them into your creative and communicate them. And then what you need to do is you need to put that also, remember we're building congruent experiences here, into your LR, into your landing page. Okay, you need to put it also into your landing page. And then what you also need to do is you need to figure out the different awareness levels that you're selling to, okay? So that is called market awareness. And what market awareness is basically your customer's understanding of what the heck is going on, okay? So are you selling to people that already know about your product? Or are you selling to people that already know about the solution? Or are you selling to people that just have a problem? Okay, depending on, again, your research and what the desire is and what market awareness level that you are selling to. And again, market awareness, there's basically 5 levels of market awareness. I already talked about a few of them, but there's unaware, there's problem aware, there's solution aware, there's product aware, and then there's most aware. Okay, so those are the 5 stages. If you want more information on that, I actually have a Skool community down below that you can go check out. And there's actually a free program or free module that shows you a lot deeper what that means. But if you understand your market desires and you understand the market awareness level that you're advertising to, now you can start to build a little bit more of a congruent experience, so even more so. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to take this to another level, is we're going to look at the sophistication in your market, okay? Also known as market sophistication. And basically what market sophistication means is how, everybody's favorite word, how saturated the market is. How many times have the people that you are showing this creative to, how many times have they been told that promise? How many times have they been told that claim? Okay? Because then if you actually understand how sophisticated your market is, you understand the different types of market awareness that you can go after, okay, the different levels, and then most importantly, you understand the desires, and you take those 3 things and you use that to build ad creatives that attend to the strongest desire, to an actual more scalable awareness level, and you actually target that towards a market that is in the right way. You frame your messaging in a way that actually resonates with how sophisticated the market is. Because again, for example, if I came to your market and I was like, brand new product, it's this thing that you put on your head and it makes you look cool, also known as a hat. Like, people know what a hat is, okay? It's a pretty sophisticated market, right? So if you understand with your product where the market is at by doing, again, research, you can then build a congruent funnel from first click to last click. Because now we have an ad that attends to a big desire. We have an ad that also resonates with a specific level of market awareness, and also has messaging that is refined for that specific markets, for that sophistication level. And then we take that and we use that to also build our landing page, so that when they click the ad, they actually land on a page that is fully congruent with the ad's desires, awareness levels, and sophistication. that is how you actually start seeing a lot more notifications on your phone. And now for a lot of people watching this, you might be wondering, well, isn't there just like some kind of easier thing that I can do other than this boring, market desire and sophistication? And the answer is no. That screenshot that I showed you, or that, shot of the Shopify store that I showed you in the beginning, was not really done with anything other than just this. We knew our market. And in case you forget, it's called digital marketing, which market is the foundation of marketing, okay? So if you actually think about what you're trying to do, and you actually just take time to research and understand your market, to build creatives that then are congruent with pages of where you send that traffic, because in case you forgot, clicking the ad is just the first part. How you actually handle the rest of the journey is everything else, okay? So if you have an ad that is telling you one thing and then a page that is telling you something completely different, as you can imagine, you're going to really struggle. But again, if you actually take the time to understand these core 3 things, do the research and apply it, you will see a lot more sales on your store. And I can almost guarantee that, because ever since we started to implement this process and take the time to better understand our market, we have scaled our clients massively. And that's all I have for this video. If you guys want to see more of these raw, kind of horrible drawing, whiteboard style videos, definitely leave a comment down below. But I just figured I'd give this a try. But with that said, again, if you are struggling to get sales, most of the time it's just because you don't understand your market. You could have an incredible product, but if you don't understand your market and what they actually want, or you don't know how to communicate it with them, you're going to really struggle, okay? And so I don't want you to struggle. I want you to get lots of Shopify notifications, and this is the way that we do it. So I don't really have anything else. If you are interested in some more information, you can obviously check out some videos on my YouTube channel. And like I mentioned, I do have a free Skool community. So if you want to join that community, there's some free videos in there that you can check out. There's a link below to that. And if for whatever reason you're a brand owner and you stuck around this long, there's also a link down below if you want to book a call with my team to get a custom action plan. So with that said, I'll leave it there. Thank you for anybody who made it to the end, and I will see you next week.